Welcome traders. So today I'm going to do a great breakdown of these markets. So if you've just been watching this video and not watching to the end, you definitely should watch to the end because I'm going to break down these markets, give a lot of insight and psychology behind this, right? These markets are controlled and it's predictable to an extent. Of course, everything works on probabilities, but at the same time, just stay to the end, watch the whole video, and give me some feedback, okay? Whether you believe the markets are controlled or not, let me know. Let me know in the comments. But let's go ahead and break down these markets in detail. And let's go ahead and do this because it was a FOMC today, and I know a lot of people probably got wrecked. A lot of accounts probably got cooked. The brokers was eating today. So, first of all, this is a daily chart right here of the dollar. And I'm going to break down the dollar, the pound, and the S&P. Okay. So this is the daily chart of the dollar, and as you can see today, we wicked down lower, right, on this candle. Just push up hard aggressively. So I'm going to go ahead and unveil, put some makeup on the charts, and show you the sensitive levels, or the levels I deemed very sensitive. So here's the daily order block, this candle. What have we done so far on the dollar, right? I want you to pay attention here. Mind you, nothing on the economic landscape has changed. That being said, the dollar should continue going higher. Nothing has changed. Ukraine's still in war. Inflation is a worldwide crisis. So nothing has changed. So even when dollar drops, you should just expect it to recover. So notice we ran lower, taking out liquidity. And we since started rejecting and created an order block. So pairing the two, run on liquidity and then the order block. I'll expect some sensitivity at this order block here. The candles open, the candles midpoint are the sensitive levels and the high of the candle, but I like to open up the candle. Those levels are sensitive. Okay. So around liquidity, you create this order block, and notice how we had a little gap in price here. Okay. This right here is a weekly order block. This is where I believe we're going to potentially this week. But so focus on what's happened so far in the dollar. Run on liquidity, order block created, and then boom. So let's go on the 4-hour time frame. What's happened so far in the 4-hour? So in the 4-hour, notice this V recovery. First of all, it drops, boom. So when I see stuff like that already, I'm expecting the market to keep going higher. All right. Let's go on the 4-hour. Let's see what's more sensitive here. What is the most cool? So we've been talking about breakers recently, and that's our focus for the month of November. So if you want to gain more insight on breakers, I'll advise you to keep on watching every video I drop going forward today. Because November, that's what we're talking about. So, call it breaker November. We have a breaker here, right? The last up close candle for this down move. And notice how we took our liquidity. So, this last up close candle is sensitive. The market trades back above it. Notice how we went in here and popped up higher. We went in here again. Now, this one you have to use your imagination. I know most of y'all, if you trade the market today, when the market was dropping lower because of FOMC news and federal funds rate, mind you, the Fed did exactly what they were supposed to do, which was increase interest rates. This was an expected thing. So since this was expected and this has been driving the market higher, fundamentally, there's no reason for dollars to go lower. And structure-wise, we already see why dollars should go higher. Right? Because we have a breaker. Remember, this green line is a daily order block. So the market is going lower. I'm really picturing this is going to be a wick. You have to think ahead of the game. Right? In chess, you got to think like 5 moves ahead of your opponent. Or maybe 10 moves, depending on how good you are. But I'm thinking ahead of time, okay, this is going to be a wick. I know most traders are seeing this as a drop, but this is going to be a wick. You have to think that way. So I'm looking for levels that are sensitive. Look at this order block, and I'll show you why this actually it's just more than the order block here. You know, I'll go get into detail of that in a second. But we have a breaker, order block here, Run on liquidity. Let's go on to 1 hour now. See what's happening over there. Okay, now on the 1 hour time frame, add the day dividers. All we did was run out yesterday's low and the other day's low as well. We just took out all this liquidity here just to drop in the 4 hour order block. And mind you, still, I'm picturing this is going to be a breaker because you got to look at what time is the candle being. What time is the candle? Forming. Like how many more minutes is left in the candle? If this candle just started and it's ready all the way down here, chances are it's not going to continue going lower. Can it? Yes. But if you understand that structure is bullish, your focus should be on, okay, let's look on the lower time frame. Let's see if we can start seeing things or seeing reasons for the market to start turning around. So we drop lower in here to a 4 hour order block, and let's go ahead and go to the and if you notice, there's also a little gap in price, fair value gap in here that I didn't outline. So that's a beautiful thing to see. Just outline it real quick. So there's a little gap in price, fair value gap right there. See how beautiful the market. This is why I say this market's under control. Look at how it just goes there to the T. Now let's go to the 15-minute time frame and see what's going on there. So still keep in perspective everything we talked about in the higher time frame. Don't get lost in the sauce. First of all, I want to acknowledge this gap in here. This was the gap that I told you about on my last YouTube video. I was mentioning how this gap going forward for the rest of the week, I'm going to pay attention to how the market reacts around here. So when it was dropping in here, I was really like, okay, good. It's just all of this is going through to a gap around liquidity. Perfect. And I just said, okay, it kept doing lower. I said, well, cool. There's a 4 hour order block here. 1 hour fair value gap. Honestly speaking, I didn't even see 1 hour fair value gap till right now. But my main focus was really this gap. So market trading to this gap. Look at the reaction. Okay. There's more details to this. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. So if you notice on the 5-minute time frame, what do we do here? We created a breaker. Last up close candle for this down move. Right? This last up close candle for this down move, which took out this liquidity pool. And we hop in the 4 hour fair value gap. Then we immediately reject. Immediately. Create a 5-minute, you call it an order block, but mainly I want us to focus on the breaker. And notice how we created a breaker, went higher. Look at this fair value gap in here. This could have been another entry. Or higher. Of course, you don't trade dollar, but just let's go to the 1 minute. We're going all the way to the details of this thing, right? So these two lines, remember, is the gap. So look at the beautiful, how beautiful this worked. You drop this 4 hour order block. Look how we traded higher aggressively, creating a fair value gap. So this move to me is like a chess move. It's a trap, long story short. When I see a breaker, to me is a trap, and I wait for that every time. Even ICT mentions, right, that there has to be a run on liquidity before a great move. So my goal every day is to wait for this trap, which is a quick move down, then a reversal. Then this is when your support does turn to resistance, which essentially is this breaker, but it's the last up close candle that matters the most. And what does it do? Trade right in there, on top of the gap and the breaker. So once this happens, I'm looking at other pairs, other currencies, because we don't trade dollar. And I'm looking for the opposite thing occurring. And the market is see trades higher. So that's what we had here for dollar today. A beautiful thing. And especially if you know, I mean, look at these clean highs. Especially if, this is another reason why I got in this trade. We started going higher. And notice we didn't trade this gap on the daily. There was a gap on the daily, which, in my opinion, since we're bullish, we have to go close that out. So the fact that we traded a little higher than dropped aggressively, most retail is going to chase this for a sell. You want to see this as a trap. You don't want to, especially if we took out liquidity and we're going to some sensitive levels, which is this gap and the 4 hour order block. So when you see a move like this aggressively, quick, speed, this is when you get excited. Just how I told y'all yesterday. Look at this move going downwards. Everyone in retail world thinks it's about to keep going lower, but it kept on going downwards into New York session. Before New York session started, and started breaking structure higher. Same with this when the news dropped, because there's news, you have to pay attention to the economic calendar. This is FOMC and federal funds rate. So when this drops, this is the most everyone's anticipating what's going to happen. So as it drops aggressively, everyone's like, okay, good, it's gonna sell. But no, you know better because one, we took our liquidity. One, we hit a 4 hour order block. We're in a gap opening. And you just wait for that structure break on the 1 minute time frame, 5 minute time frame, whatever's more comfortable for you. You wait for that. While everyone else is gonna chase a retracement to sell lower, you expect them to go higher because your bias is already bullish. Now let's go ahead and go to the. I think I've touched enough bases on that. This is what I was looking. I was like, "Where's my colossal trader?" There we go. Let's go ahead and go to the euro pound here, and I'll show you my account balance after as well. Because look, I'm not just saying what happened. I'm also showing you the trades I'm taking. So that's a powerful thing. All right, a lot of mentors just teach you, and I'm not a mentor right now. I'm just a guy that's sharpening my skills daily. And I want you to win as well. That's all I'm here for. Show you what I'm doing. If it helps you, it helps you. If it doesn't, cool. But at the same time, I believe this will definitely help you. Simplifying some things here. So, this is the pound. I'm going to keep this in the picture. Right here. So, what stands out here on the pound? Let's go ahead and mark it out. This order block right here. That's an up close candle for a down move. This fair value gap in here, I didn't outline it, but it's a gap between price here and here. So those are the levels I was looking at. I don't know why I didn't draw it out. Let me draw this out. Man, my colossal trade just wants to disappear. Come on, man. Stop running away. Find a better way to do this. It's probably not even anchored. That's why it's not anchored. Forgive me, I have to do this. Sorry. Okay. Let's get back to the meat of this here. Good. Now we're talking. Okay, so on the 4 hour, what stands out here? Well, there's a fair value gap in here. Market didn't quite get in there. Let's just draw it out real quick. Boom. Remember, we're talking about breakers here. What is this? Last down close candle. Before we move higher, we took out this liquidity pool. So this is a breaker. Then the above the bodies, it doesn't have to go above the high. Above the bodies of this candle is a 4 hour rejection block. Okay. So a lot of times the market doesn't necessarily have to go above the high of a candle. Body sometimes is good enough for there to be a reaction. So we have a daily order block, a 4 hour breaker, and a rejection block. So this whole area, at specific price points, I'm expecting something to happen. Mind you, would understand that dollar should go higher. So let's go on the 1 hour time frame. So in the 1 hour time frame, what do we have here? Honestly speaking, let's just draw it out. Where's my dividers right here? So this is a rejection block again. Yeah, I don't see nothing crazy here. Mine is a liquidity pool. Now, one thing I like to point out is this. There's a fair value gap in here. There's a daily fair value gap in here that I notated. So when the market does something like this where it's close to this level, because these levels are like magnets. So if it gets right close to it and you know it should keep going lower and it starts going higher, in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. Every move going higher is just a BS move, for lack of better words. It's gonna come down here. So all this moving, I'm like, it's just playing around. The whole goal is gonna come back here, but you have to see when they're saying those traps. I don't know what that is. Random Telegram groups, but you have to see when they're setting these traps. So that's a 1 hour time frame. Let's go on a 15-minute time frame. Mind you, this whole level is a 4 hour breaker, so I'm not gonna repeat it again. Look at all this consolidation in here, all these equal highs. I personally don't want to get in a trade until all this is cleared out. News is released. We could push higher. Everyone's thinking it's going higher. It's going higher. It's going higher. But, since we're in the breaker, what you should expect, we hit a 4 hour rejection block. We hit a daily order block. Look at that to the T. It starts rejecting. Right? So, to me, you can't tell me it's not controlled, but that's just one thing. Now let's go ahead and go to the intraday. Notice this is a 50 level. So the 50 level is sensitive. Whole number levels are sensitive. A levels are sensitive. But we're at a 50 level here. So all of that is adding in. Not just one thing. I'm adding different things that will make me think, okay, this is different things to confirm my bias. Or where the trade should be executed. I already know my bias. So 50 level. Now let's go to the 5-minute time frame. So now look on the 5-minute, right? What do we have here? Well, I already drew it out, so I guess you can see it already. But we have a breaker. Last down close candle for this up move. Boom. You can enter the trade right there. It drops lower. And this is a breaker too. Last down close candle for all this up move. Another breaker. Boom. So it's an easy trading day today. And we go even deeper on the 1-minute time frame. I guess I didn't draw it. I thought I drew that out. I guess not. But if you look on the 1-minute time frame, what do we have here? Same thing. Some drops. Easy money. You can see I executed my trades here. The first one was here because I already knew. Well, we were in a breaker, and honestly speaking, it was a little scary. Not really scary. My stop was above the previous day's highs, and if you check, it came close to that. But ended up in this daily order block. Once this drop happened, I was sure it's gonna drop then. Once it dropped like this, came back in here, breaker entry, stop loss above here, and see I got towards the lows. Boom. So easy money on that. Price is fractal, so you should see it happen on every time frame. If it's a validated, trade idea or trade, something that repeats, you should see it happen on every time frame. Daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 5-minute, 1 minute, down to the 30-second chart. And lastly, we're gonna talk about here S&P. Oh, I already gave the sauce on S&P here. Let's hide this real quick. 1 minute. Okay. So S&P. I believe we slightly trade above this high. It's fair value gap. Mind you, I was calling for lower prices on this as well. There's a gap in here. Boom. So what do you see on this 4 hour again? Well, there's a gap in price right here. What is this last down close candle? Breaker. So again, when this candle's trading higher, I was expecting to wick. That's how I'm thinking. What are these? Right here, it's liquidity pool. So we're on the 1 hour time frame. Fair value gap in here. What is this right here? So that's down close candle for its up move. It's a breaker. Mind you, US 30 traded above this high. So there was an SMT going on, which means just a correlated pair did something in this, and this pair fails to do it. So that shows that there's weakness in this one. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. So this is an easy day again. Once again, the mousetrap. Look how it just goes higher. Everyone in the retail world, or everyone that doesn't think this way, is expecting it to keep going higher when it retraces. But because you know what's going on, or you know this is a trap now, you don't think the same way. Look on the 15-minute time frame, and this is a breaker for all this up move. It goes in here. There's also a daily fair value gap, which is also a 1 hour fair value gap, which is also a 4 hour fair value gap. So everything's overlapping here. So it's pretty much easy. The same thing over here. So we're on a 5 minute. We have this down close candle right here before this up move. Market goes in here, sells. Another down close candle for this up move, sell off. This is a liquidity pool. I'll show my entries again, but then the 1 minute time frame. I just got hungry out of nowhere, honestly speaking. With a 1 minute time frame, same thing. Breaker occurs, entry at the breaker. We drop in here, breaker here, entry. And you can see my, oh Lord, what is this? Executions. Sold right here. Market drops. I bought here. Well, close partials. So, easy trading day. Once again, just set a mousetrap for every retailer. If you don't know what's going on. I also did some selling in here. Also with a breaker. I don't want to get into that, but this is also a winning trade before the news. But this was it. Breaker, entry, based on, and we're trading out of a higher time frame level. So all of this stuff added up to my positions and why I got in. And you can see the account's at 116. Today we were at, where did we start today? Let's see where we start. Where did we start today? The account started at 9,000 today. Well, 109,000, sorry about that. First trade was a loss, and for some reason, this is one thing I learned about me. I think it plays in my psychology. I'm not really the aggressor. So I'm the type of person where in a fight, I gotta get hit first before I react. And I've noticed in my trading, like a lot of times I'm lousy and lazy about my first trade, and I take a loss, then that wakes me up. And then when I lose, then I go all offense. So I took this loss, and then, the rest was history. And so about 7% gain today. And that was it. So again, if you want to keep on breaking markets like this, just like, subscribe, leave a comment. That helps me, okay? Even just say thanks for the video. Great video. I really appreciate all of y'all that are leaving comments. Just leave a comment so, we can get this video more views, and that way I can also be encouraged to keep on dropping these videos. I'm giving this free game. A lot of mentors can't give this, and that's just a fact of the matter. So I'm showing, I'm executing, and I'm teaching. And I'm not even a mentor. I'm just a trading enthusiast, right? I'm not calling myself a mentor. So it's all free game, free knowledge. Just tap in, man, and drop a comment. I really appreciate y'all, and that's that. And I'm also, going to open my Telegram to the public. I'll drop in this link, and I want y'all to just get in there. If you get in there, you can drop your charts in there. Let's comment. I want it to be active. I have one right now. It's not really active. I just drop what I think is going to happen. I don't want to do that anymore. From time to time, I will drop what is going to happen or what I'm expecting to happen, but I want everyone else to also be interactive. Drop a news event in there. Say what's going on, what you think. You can talk about anything in there. I want it to be a community where traders are just talking. So I'm going to drop the link under the description of this video. So you feel free, tap in. I know it's one of my subscribers was asking, or one of my, I don't know what his name was, but he was asking how he can get connected with me. It's gonna be on Telegram, okay? So if you've been asking, hit me up on Telegram. That's the perfect way I really appreciate y'all for following and liking and subscribing. Yeah, let's do more. Let's get this video up, make it have some more views. But if you got some value from this, stay tuned. Watch more of my videos as it drops. And yeah, so y'all have a wonderful day. We'll get back at it tomorrow. Same thing, nothing new every single day. All right, we out.